what's up guys? My name is Zach, and a couple weeks ago I asked you guys a bunch of questions that you might have about me or the channel or my RX7. So I have all those questions right here. Give a good shake. I'm going to answer your guys' questions. So let's get started. I'm trying to figure out if an RX7 is a good project drift car, as I have an 02 WRX daily and I want something cheap to work on myself. Love your vids, stay original. Well, thank you, Alex. That comment comes from Alex. Yeah, I mean, if you can find a cheaper RX7 to work on and drift, I'd totally go for it. The thing is cheap cars are all relative. Or cheap to work on cars are all relative. My RX7 takes up pretty much all of my income, which granted, I only work part-time, I live at home, so it's not a whole lot of money to someone who, you know, has a steady job and whatever, but to me, that's a lot of money. It's not necessarily cheap. So it really depends on what you're looking for, but RX7s are good project cars because there's always gonna be something to do to an RX7. So I'd say if you could find a cheap one, a cheap running one at least, I would say definitely go for it. What specifically got you into Rotaries and future plans for your RX7? Well, actually what got me into Rotaries, as a lot of you guys know, my dad used to have a 1980 RX7 in the same color red that I have now. And I always wanted a car like that. I thought that was a really cool looking car. I didn't know much about the rotary engine until I actually bought it. I started learning through actually having one, which is good in some cases and not good in other cases. But that's what really got me into it. Once I turned 18, I knew I wanted my own car and something to work on because, you know, I enjoy working on cars. So I bought that RX-7 that you guys have come to know and love as Rose. Speaking of that, future plans for the RX-7. Finished up the engine swap, as you guys know. I want to do fender flares, just like little, they're called ZG flares. Want to lower it about an inch, get the steering worked out, do a radio, cooling fans, electric cooling fans, and then that's pretty much it. I don't want to go crazy with this car, although I do want to go crazy on another Rotary, but that won't be for quite a while, a year at bare minimum. But I do want to go just ham on maybe an FC. This one's from Samuel Drive. What would be your muscle or domestic car of choice? Well, muscle, I would say, like, if I could have any muscle car, a 69 Charger, by far. But domestic car, probably a Focus RS. I really like the new Focuses. I think they're really cool. Or a Hellcat. You can't go wrong with a Hellcat. This one comes from Michael. How bad is the RX-7 with fuel and gas? They don't get Rotaries aren't great. That's one of their pitfalls, is that they are not great on gas. My RX-7, I would fill it up every 2 days. It's only like a 12-gallon tank, but I'd fill it up every 2 days and I got about 10 miles to the gallon. So I drive about 110 miles every 2 days. I mean, I really enjoy driving the car, and I drove to school, work, all these things. So I didn't get great gas mileage, but the new engine will definitely be better with fuel injection. Vincent asks, I plan on getting an S5 FC in 5-ish months. Need to come up with the money, don't we all? If I were to get an extended street port, what would I need to pass emissions? Now, I'm not sure how old it has to be where it doesn't need emissions. And basically, emissions really only deals with the exhaust and O2 sensors and that sort of thing. So as long as you keep some type of O2 sensors in it, you should be fine. But I don't even think you need emissions. I know my 85 does not need emissions at all. It needs nothing. So I'll probably run a full straight pipe on that with a small muffler. But yeah, emissions should not be your biggest worry with an extended street port or any type of port. Edwin asks, will you do a sound clip of revving and shifting through the gears? I assume he means when my car is finished, and yes, absolutely. The 6th episode of Rotary Life was actually me doing that exact thing with the 12A, and so I hope to mimic that with the 13B and kind of show you guys the differences in sound and whatnot. IDK though Motto asks, is an 89 FC Vert with a rebuilt engine worth $2,500? It depends on really how the engine was rebuilt, who it was by, and how many miles are on the rebuild. If it's a pretty fresh rebuild and it was built by a quality place, yeah, it's worth, you know, $2,500. If it was rebuilt 100,000 miles ago by, his cousin Jim, might not be. So just take a look at it if you can. Compression check it. That's the best way of knowing the life of the engine. Death2508 asks, how many dicks can you take? Death2508, I've never actually tried. So I don't have an answer for you, but Subi Skyline 34 asks, what are your opinion on premixing? Or what is your opinion on premixing? Do it. That's it. That's really my opinion, is do it. If you have an OMP, you can premix about half an ounce per gallon. If you don't, or if it's not working, do about an ounce per gallon. But if you have a rotary, premix it. Or just make sure it's getting its lubrication somehow, because that will kill your engine if you don't lubricate it. Mr. Square Art asks a couple of questions. Do you have a girlfriend? Do you know what fair trade is? And should I watch more of your videos? First and foremost, yes, I do have a girlfriend. We've been dating for a year and 2 months. Something like that. She's lovely, she's awesome. Do you know what fair trade is? Yes, it's like where you buy goods from farmers and it's like more fair and you buy like wholesome food. Sounds pretty good to me. And should I watch more of your videos? Absolutely, because they are great. Ito Farambe Strong Belch, aka Generic Blue Guy, asks, will you do every single drug under the sun in college? And the answer to that is no, because I don't have the money for drugs. Because I'm building the RX7, I am broke. But if I had money, I would do every single drug imaginable, including crystal light packets. Just snort them right up, because that's what I do for fun. No, actually, I've never done a drug. Smoke tires, not drugs. Tyler asks, do you plan on drifting your RX7, and are you going to make more rotary videos when you get it out of storage? As you guys probably have already seen on the channel, yes, I'm still making rotary videos once it's out of storage. That's kind of my whole drive on this channel. I do want to become an automotive journalist, so I do put out other car-related videos, just other content. But rotary videos, RX7 videos, that's kind of the centerpiece of this channel, and really it's my favorite thing to do. And do you plan on drifting your RX7? No. The simple answer is I'm not good at drifting, and I don't want to bash it up. Maybe if I get a car and start to learn how to drift, then I'll drift it. Or if I just get like a crappy $800 FC again. I really should have drifted that last one. But I need to learn how to drift. I need to kind of get better before I would ever take, quite frankly, my baby out on the track. But I am interested in drifting. I do want to go to drift events and I do want to learn how to drift. It's just, I don't want to bash up my RX-7. Felix, thank you for letting me review your Integra. RB or 2JZ. So those are two kinds of engines, RB like 26 or 2JZ. I don't know much about them, if I'm honest. I know RB is Nissan, I know 2JZ is Toyota, and it came in like the Supra. RBs were like Skylines and Silvias, I think. Again, I'm not really up on it. I prefer the 2JZ, but I'm a bigger fan of Nissan. I don't think Toyota really makes cool cars anymore. They had the Supra, they had the Celica. They don't have much right now. But I am a bigger fan of Nissan, but I would take a 2JZ over an RB26. Steve Jobs asks, I have a question. I'm in 5th grade and my teacher told me to vote for class president for my class, but she said we couldn't vote for ourselves. My question is, can we vote for other people? Yes, one would assume, Steve Jobs, that you could vote, or that you should vote for the other people if you can't vote for yourself. I hope your class elections go well, and get ready for junior high, because it's the most awkward time of your life. Rototurd, what's up Rototurd, how you doing? How's the swap coming? Rototurd asks, if you had to choose, what hot hatch would you buy that is currently out? Focus RS. I really want to drive an RS or ST. I've never driven either of those, but I think they look really cool, boosted, that sort of thing. I really want to get a hatchback. I've always had a thing for hatchbacks or wagons. I think Subaru Legacies look awesome. I just think wagons look cool and hatchbacks look cool. And I really think Ford nailed it with the Focus RS. Again, I haven't driven one. I've sat in a couple at dealerships. Yeah, I was that kid that I didn't have one, so I went to a dealership to sit in one. I did that. But yeah, I would definitely take the Focus RS. Eddie asks, have you ever heard of 7 stock and do you plan on taking your RX-7? Yes, I've heard of 7 stock. It's basically an RX-7 festival. For those of you who don't know, do you plan on taking your RX-7? In a fantasy world, yes, but I live in Chicago and 7 stock is in Southern California, which is about a 30-hour drive, which is a lot for a 32-year-old car, let alone one that I've put together, let alone something that gets 15 miles to the gallon. It's just not practical. If I had the money, I would definitely trailer it out there or get it shipped, but it's just not in the cards at the moment. But I do really want to attend. If anything, I would attend without my car. It's not like I have to attend with my car. I would definitely go. Jay asks, I have a question about a 1990 Mazda RX-7 Turbo. It's been sitting for 7 years, have not started it. What can I do, if anything, at this point before attempting to start it? You know, if you know, cool. If not, please don't fake it. Thanks so much. So, I get what he's saying. I've never started a Rotary that old, but I do know I flooded the engine of my RX-7 in one of the videos, and to restart it to kind of help a Rotary kick over, we did put 2-stroke oil in the housing. So we pulled the spark plugs, got like a big comedic sized syringe, and syringed the 2-stroke oil into the housing to kind of help it kick over. So I would recommend doing that. Other than that, just like starting fluid, make sure it has fresh gas, those little things. Make sure you're getting spark, check the spark plugs, check the wires in case there's any ripping or anything, things like that. Just do those basic things. But for a Rotary, yeah, I would just say 2-stroke in the side spark plug holes. And last but not least, Joey. What's up, Joey? Repping it from Michigan. What's your favorite first mod for a Rotary? So this is kind of, I have like 2 answers to this question. Favorite first mod, or I feel like it's really separated into what first mod should you do and one of my favorite mods. I'm a big fan of porting. I think the bridge port that I drove was a whole lot of fun, super cool. But I think your first favorite mod for a Rotary should be the cooling system. Rotaries run really hot. Because there's no time to cool down between combustion cycles or anything, Rotaries run super hot. So anything you can do to get coolant through that engine will help you with the longevity and reliability of your car. To help prevent hot starts or failure on hot starts and all that sort of thing. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a little bit about me. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns that I didn't address in this video, please leave it in the comment section down below. Take care, guys.